Hi, good morning. Happy Saturday morning, and welcome to our coffee chat. Why I have a
Welcome,
Christmas mug, I have no
everybody.
idea. And I don't know if you've noticed over the past week or so that we have been really talking about menopause over the past week. And there's a reason for that, is because we're really excited to announce that we are going to be launching a new program very soon with the beautiful Tanya, who's here with us on our coffee chat today. Good morning, welcome.
Good
And
morning.
why don't you tell us a little bit more about your program? It's called MenoPause, and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. Well, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. So I'm Tanya Brassard. I'm a certified health and wellness coach, and also a yoga teacher. So I do that also as well. Um, so yes, my one of my passions when it comes to health coaching is to help women kind of break free from like the stress and overwhelm, especially when you're going through, a transition in many years, which can be like through perimenopause and menopause. So MenoPlus is a small group coaching program. And what's great about it is that in a small group setting, you get personalized coaching on really trying to thrive, really, and establish like some lifestyle habits, and get confidence, clarity, and lots of practical tools that can really help you feel, I guess, energetic, vibrant, and healthy. I think that's what we want, right? As women, we want to thrive, we want to be our best.
Can you
So
give
Our
us
Tanya,
kind of,
this
community.
you know, this is
we're
what
so
happens when
excited, we're
it's
all talking at once.
Go,
when
Kathy.
it's
Go,
live.
Kathy. Go
So
ahead,
this
Kathy.
this this program that you'll be starting, this mental plus program, is it for women that are postmenopause? Is it for anybody that's going through that transition? Can you tell us a little bit about who this program is for?
Yes.
So essentially, listen, I think the people may not realize that the changes in our bodies and going through all these types of things happens maybe earlier than we think. So our estrogen levels kind of start dropping like more or less around 35 and older, right? So that's Yeah, when those shifts start happening. So this is really anybody 35 plus. Because at the end of the day, 100% of women will go through menopause. It might look different though, right? Person to person, it's going to look a little different. We're all unique and so forth. But at the end of the day, it could be for anybody who wants to sort of take action and do things, I think, to help feel their best. yeah. I
Can you
think it
I
give
was
was gonna
us,
jump.
Christina again.
We're gonna keep doing this.
There we are.
that's
Well,
okay,
I
it's
was gonna
Teresa,
jump
entertaining.
in
we need
now.
to raise our
I
hand.
was I was gonna jump in and say that is exactly this community, right? It's women pretty much 35 plus for the most part. And what we've done different programs to help with wellness in the past. We did the Spring Clean Your Body program. We've done the Finish Strong program at the end of the year. But one thing that our community tells us is I'm going through peri or post whatever menopause, and they want support in that area. So and we're all in that same demographic,
Yes.
so we can relate, we understand, and so that's why this is, I think, a really great partnership that we have with you, Tanya. And it's a little different than the way we have run our programs in the past. This is really like small group coaching, very individualized, right? Where you get the benefit of community support with your group cohort, but they're not bigger groups, they're smaller groups, and you really give everybody some individualized coaching along the way. And I think that's what's a little different from the way that we've done things in the past. So can you tell us a little bit about that individualized coaching process that you take?
Yeah, so basically like the program runs over like 2 months. And essentially what it consists of is there's going to be everybody will kick off with their own personalized wellness assessment. So we'll be able to kind of see and gauge, where you're at heading into this. Then we're going to have 4 live virtual sessions together in a small group setting. So by keeping it small, as you say, we're able to get to know one another, but we can also share. There's about sharing your stories and seeing how others, you can learn a lot from that as well. And so we'll cover like some specific topics along the way um, to support, getting more knowledge and everything else when it comes to thriving and adopting some healthy lifestyle habits. But then a nice bonus that we're going to be doing with your community is to offer an individual one-on-one coaching session as well as part of the process.
It's amazing.
Fantastic.
I really
Thank
like
you.
that idea of the small, intimate group settings where you're in a safe space. That you can
Yes.
talk about something that, sometimes it's a little difficult to talk about. I know I started menopause quite early myself, and I didn't really understand what was happening. And I had no idea at the time that there was anything I could do to mitigate it, to help.
Yes.
And so that's why I'm so excited for this program because even if you're perimenopausal, that, get the knowledge now while you can. And then when you start and you're going through the process, you can better manage those symptoms. That's something I didn't have, and I certainly wish I did.
Yes.
The,
Yes. No. Yeah, it's great.
the beauty of it now is that it is acceptable to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I know when my mother went through it, I had no idea because they didn't talk about it.
Not at all.
So
They,
true.
they never, it was taboo, right? Just like as if I'm going to say it out loud so the whole world can hear it when you get your period. Yes, we can call it the period or menstruation. We can say that. No one talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody you're on your period. So it's kind of nice that we can have these open discussions and when I am having a hot flash, I can turn around and say, yeah, I'm having a hot flash. I don't have to feel like I need to step out of the room, whether there's men or not in the room. Like I can't talk about it, right? So, and everyone knows Kathy's having one of her hot flashes. Get her that fan. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice that we can do that freely right now.
Well, especially now, I mean, we've been hearing how there was so little help for us, little information that we can access. So I'm hearing so many people talk about it and everything, and I'm really happy that you're gonna talk about having to little ways of dealing with it. Were you thinking of maybe incorporating, because I missed that part of the other meeting that we had with you. Will you be incorporating some breath work with that to manage it as well? I know that you work with breath work a lot as well. So will that be part of the program?
Yes, so definitely we're going to be tackling sort of stress management, right? Mindfulness, things like that. So as part of one of the pillars. And so
Right.
for sure, and that could, people could, they can de-stress and find mindfulness in different ways. So we're going to talk about different ways, but for sure, I was going to maybe give a little flavor and a little experience in terms of when it comes to breath work as well, because that's something that is a great tool, and all of us are able to. We all breathe, right? So it's great to sort of sometimes remind ourselves that we can tap into that to help de-stress and bring focus and mindfulness and help.
One of the
The
reasons
other
I
thing
think
that
this partnership is so wonderful too is it's, obviously we're focusing on health and wellness in general, but we're really
Mhm.
focusing on getting that exercise in and moving your body. And
Yes,
then you can help us link to why that's so important in helping to manage those symptoms too.
absolutely.
yeah, and the other thing I was going to say is that I a lot of women have a hard time talking about this with their doctors because doctors are still very divided on how to treat and manage menopause symptoms or perimenopause symptoms. And so I think one of the things that you also are including is a doctor discussion guide and how to talk to your doctor about your symptoms. And I think that's a great conversation because, there's a lot we can do for ourselves, but sometimes we need to reach out to our healthcare professionals, and how do we have those conversations in a way that's productive and meaningful. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, we're definitely going to do a deep dive on like what menopause, perimenopause, like what that is, what does it entail? What about the symptoms? And then what does that mean in terms of like equipping ourselves, right? To have a good conversation with our healthcare providers. So we're gonna look even at like what does the evidence and everything suggest, in terms of what kind of good questions I can ask. Because at the end of the day, that's it. We need to be empowered, right, to make sure that we get the best outcome we can with our healthcare team. So to be
Yeah, which is
equipped with that.
Yeah, because I remember going to my gynecologist and saying, "Well, what about this HRT?" And she was
Yes,
completely against it. But I really had no idea what questions to ask, to be very honest
yes,
with you. So when she was against it, because she is a much older lady,
yes.
basing herself on
Studies.
old evidence and
Mm.
old statistics and
Exactly.
all that. I just went with it. I just like, okay, well, no, I don't want to risk whatever she was telling me. Um, but then when I started doing my own research, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I need, and now I think I know what questions to ask, which I had no
Yes,
idea what questions to ask. I didn't know how to probe,
that's
basically.
it. And
So I'm glad they're offering that.
yeah, that's it. And I think like there's even a shift in the medical community happening as it relates to menopause, the guidelines and the position with it. But you're right. Um, there was a bit of a misconception and misinformation when it related to like the interpretation of the data. And so a lot of the healthcare professionals were a bit wary when it came to HRT. Now, I think the important thing is, again, is to have that informed discussion, right? Because HRT
Yeah,
may or may not be for everybody,
exactly. Exactly.
but the guidelines have evolved, the positioning has evolved. So the leading experts in menopause, and maybe not all healthcare professionals are, they're not sometimes aware of like that shift or that change in guidelines at the moment, right? So that's where we are going to look at that information together, equip ourselves so that we can just make sure that we can explore all the right options, to
Yeah.
help us.
And then the other thing is also symptoms. I always thought, being the not knowledgeable, as soon as you got into postmenopause, symptoms will
Oh,
go away,
right.
right? This is a notion that I had. Okay, so I'm getting perimenopause. That's when the hot flashes happen. As Christina says, menopause is really only one day, and then you fall into postmenopause. And I'm like, okay, great. Once I am no longer menstruating and I'm no longer going through all the over ovulations and all that, then I should be okay and all symptoms go away. And that's not the case. And so I think a lot of times what we have in the misconceptions we have in our own head, either from what we've heard or not
Yeah,
heard, we come up with our own storylines in our head that are not true.
yeah,
So, I'm officially in postmenopause over a year now, and I do still get the flashes, whether you're on HRT or not. The HRT doesn't even take all that stuff away either.
It
It just
helps.
minimizes, it helps a
hmm
lot,
Yeah.
a lot.
hmm
But it's to be aware and it's to be, yeah, to know. It's to be in the know, really.
yeah.
So
I think
I'm glad we're talking about all that.
exactly. So I think you're right. It's not like an on-off switch, but on general,
No.
they say that like if you're, depending on your symptoms, but you'll be in that symptomatic stage for on average 8 years, like 7.5, but like I'm just rounding up to about 8 years or so. So that's
It's a
it. So
long
I mean, that's a
time.
It's a
long
long
time.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a long time. I mean, it
Oh,
does sort of, you do hit at one point, like you do hit like sort of a steady state
Okay, so
after
how many
at
more
that
years
point.
do I
But
have left? Hold on.
well, hopefully we can all benefit from this coaching and maybe manage our symptoms and our experiences a little
exactly.
bit better, depending on, what stage you're at and what you're experiencing. So I think it's fantastic. You're also, I believe, going to talk nutrition. There's sleep, which I guess is a little bit part of stress management, and plenty of other things. So
Yeah.
we are going to be launching registration this week, and the program will run for 2 months, right? Um, those sessions will happen. You said there's about 5 sessions, 4 with the group, 1 individual.
Yes.
And Tanya, you've also generously offered to offer discovery calls if someone is interested in learning more and understanding better how this will work. So we'll be launching that registration this week, and the program starts April 21st, right? Checking my notes, memory loss. And so kind of to get you through to the mid-June period, right? Early summer. So I think this is a great time to be doing this. I think a lot of people are feeling like also, okay, it's time to get out of the winter doldrums and kind of move into a lighter, more hopeful period. And what a great way to do it by exploring our, connection with our health as well. So, any other questions for Tanya? Like we said, she will happily take questions from anyone who's interested in knowing more. We'll share more about the pricing and how the program will work. And this is a partnership. So hopefully this is going to be great for many people. We said small groups, right? Maybe max four to five people per group. And if we need to, we'll open multiple groups depending on how many people want to sign up. But we'll make sure that those really small group interactions are maintained.
And we know Tanya's a great fit because she's got curly hair.
Exactly.
There we go.
Christina and I are like,
Oh, Christina,
Well,
I
you
have
know.
curly hair. This is
oh
my
yeah,
winter
you
hair.
do. That's right.
Christina does have curly hair. That's right.
In the summer, it'll
Exactly.
come back.
That's
actually,
right.
Tanya, I wanted to know if you will you be touching on weight gain during menopause? I know you're talking nutrition and everything, but you'll be talking about managing weight gain as well, that we just are constantly dealing with, the thickening of our
Belly fat.
middle and all
Yeah.
that.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness, yes.
You'll be
Yes,
touching
yes.
on that as well? I
Yes.
think that's a big thing for me anyway,
Yes.
so, okay.
Like for
Yeah.
a lot of women. Yeah.
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 Well, thank you,
We'll talk about,
Tanya.
what everything you're kind of different, yes, what people might be experiencing and all those symptoms and things. And then afterwards, like the different pillars and modalities and strategies. Again, that's where also like personalized coaching can help, because depending on, as I said, we're, 100% of women go through menopause and perimenopause, but we're all different, unique, and we'll have different clustering of symptoms or experiencing it, in different ways. And so we have like a tool bag of different strategies and things that we can do, but depending on each person's situation, you might want to draw on like certain different things, right? Depending on what will work for you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Look
Thank you
forward
so
to
much
it.
for joining us today, Tanya. Really,
Yes.
Oh, you're
welcome.
I'm
Thank
excited.
you. Me
I'm
too.
excited.
Me too.
Yeah.
So
And if
stay
anyone
tuned
has
for
any
more, everyone.
questions, if
Yeah.
anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We can help you make the connection with Tanya and that kind of thing as well. And feel free to reach out. We're really excited about this. So thank you.
It's not menopause, it's mental plus.
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 All right.
Have a
Have a
fantastic day, everybody.
everyone.
Happy
Thank you,
Saturday.
Have a great day.
everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
great one.
Saturday.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.